welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I will show you a green cut crease and I hope you enjoy watching this video. I start off applying a sticky tape. This will make sure that my eye look will look very sharp. Now I'm applying a white eye pencil underneath the highest point of my brow. This is a white eye pencil from the brand MAC. It's called Fascinating. It's just a regular white eye pencil. You can use any white eye pencil that you have at home. It doesn't have to be a MAC one. For today's look I'm using the Morphe Certifeye eye palette and I start with the white eye pencil. I'm going to apply this right on top of the white eye pencil that I applied underneath my brow bone. And I'm using a Sigma E20 brush for this step. Now I'm going in with the black shade from the palette and I'm using an eyeliner brush from Sigma to create my crease line. For my first step I always like to go in with a very light transition shade. So I'm using a Makeupgeek eyeshadow in the shade Shorting. It's the perfect light green shade for every green look that you will create. I'm using the Morphe M503 brush to blend this in my crease and I'm applying this shade in the middle of the white shade and the black line that I created. Now I'm going in with the Morphe M506 brush and a green shade from the Morphe Certifeye eye palette. And I'm applying this shade right above the black line. And I'm also going a tiny bit on top of the line. So I'm just blending back and forth to make sure that the shade will be everywhere. So at the outer part of the line, but also it's important to take the shade to the inner corner. Now I'm going in with the darkest green shade from the palette and I'm using a Morphe M515 brush and I'm applying this shade right on top of the black line. Now I'm using again the lighter green shade from the palette on a Morphe M506 brush. And I'm going right on top of all these shades to make sure that everything is well blended. Now to carve out my lids and make my crease look sharper, I'm going in with a white eye pencil. This is the same white eye pencil that I also used underneath my brow bone. And I'm just going to fill in my whole eyelid. Now I'm going back in with the black shade from the palette, and I'm using a Anastasia Beverly Hills eyeliner brush in the number 3. I'm just going around the edges of my crease to make sure there's no white eye pencil on it, so I'm intensifying the line. And now I'm using the dark green shade again, and I'm using the Morphe M515 brush. And because I just applied the black eyeshadow, I want to make sure there are no harsh lines. So I'm just going over it with this shade to make sure that everything is blended out. Now I use the white shade from the eye palette, and I'm using a Sigma E57 brush. I'm just going over the white eye pencil that I applied on my eyelid to make sure it will stay in place. Because it's a creamy product, it can tend to crease, so make sure that you set it with powder. Now I'm going back in with the Shorting eyeshadow from Makeupgeek. It's the same shade that I also used as my transition shade. I'm going to apply this at the middle part of my eyelid and gently fade it towards the inner corner of my eyelid. For this I'm using the Sigma E57 brush. The next shade that I will apply on my eyelid is the middle green shade from the palette. I'm using the same Sigma E57 brush and I'm just applying it right next to the Shorting eyeshadow. And I'm making tapping motions, but I'm also blending it a little bit back and forth to make sure that it will fade into the other green shade. Now for at the end of my eyelid I'm using the dark green shade from the palette. And still I'm using the same Sigma E57 brush and I'm going to softly blend this at the outer part of my eyelid to get a kinda ombre effect on my eyelid using green shades. And you can use this technique with every shade that you want. So if you're doing a purple look, you can use a light, medium and dark shade on your eyelid and just blend them together. So now I'm going back in with the white eye pencil and intensifying the line that I left over at the upper part of my eyelid. I wanted to give this Cutcrease a special effect, so I left the inner corner of my eyelid white and I'm creating this line right on top of or at the upper part of my eyelids, so it gives a very nice effect. So now I'm done with applying shades on my eyelids, so it's time to remove the sticky tape. It always feels like sort of relief. And I'm going to apply my eyeliner. I'm using the Sigma Wicked Gel Eyeliner. I finally bought a new one. This is one of my favorite eyeliners because it's very intense black, so I'm happy that I finally can use it again. And I'm using my Anastasia Beverly Hills eyeliner brush in the number 3. Normally I always skip this part, but now I will show you what I do to clean up my under eye area. I'm using the Bobbi Brown Tinted Eyebrightener in the shade Light Bisque. And I'm applying a lot of it. It's a very thin consistency, so it will not look very cakey underneath the eye. And to blend it in, I'm using the NUCODE Miracle Makeup Blender. I made it a bit wet. And I'm just blending the concealer on my face. The nice thing about this beauty blender is that it has a round side and a flat side. So I will use the round side to blend it in my skin. And I will use the flat side to blend it right underneath my eyeliner, because it's important to be a little bit more careful on that part. You don't want your concealer to ruin your whole eyeliner, so I'm just tapping it very careful right underneath it. Now for underneath my eye, I'm going back in with the black shade from the palette, and I'm using a MAC brush in the number 219 and just applying this right underneath the lower lash line. In my waterline I used a black pencil, and I did it off camera because I always get watery eyes and it just doesn't look very nice on camera, so I just did it off camera. I hope you don't mind. I show it in all my other videos. So. To blend out the black shade, I'm using the green shade from the palette, and I'm using a blending brush from the brand Makeup Addiction. So I'm just applying this shade right underneath the black shade. To blend it out even more, I'm going back in with the Shorting eyeshadow from Makeupgeek Cosmetics, and I'm applying these shades at the bottom, and you can see it leaves it with a very soft transition. Like always, I'm going in with a eyeliner to make that inner corner pointy, and I'm using the Sigma Wicked Gel eyeliner and a eyeliner brush from Sigma in the number E11. I mixed two glitters together from Certifeye, and I'm applying this right underneath the lower lash line to give it a more sparkly effect, and I'm using a concealer brush from the brand Crown Brush. To make the glitter stick on my skin, I used the MAC Mixing Medium Gel on my brush. I'm still searching for a very nice eyeliner for my waterline. You can see the pencil already faded in the corner of my eye, so I'm just not happy with this one. This one is from Tarte Cosmetics, the closeup liner, and it just gives my eyes a very watery, it just makes my eyes very watery. So please let me know if you know a good one. The lashes that I'm using today are the Grand Glamor lashes by Vegas and Eylure, and this is the finished look. I hope you like how this look came out, and I hope you have learned something. Don't forget to subscribe or follow me on social media, and hopefully I will see you in my next video. Bye bye!